Hey there. It's about 2 minutes early, but I'm going to go ahead and just hang out here for a little bit as people get into the room. And in about 2 minutes, I'll start chatting more. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I like to see people be able to get into the chat room, and in case my time is different than yours, wherever uh, you are. No, it looks like the phone says 3:59, so we're pretty close to right on time. So we'll see. Okay, good. We got some people in the room already. Yay. All righty. I'm just going to turn the music down. For those of you who haven't heard this yet, this is the background track to the second cut on my new CD, Conscious Embodiment, and it's guided meditations. But I just put it on to kind of set the stage as we're getting ready to go here, and I'm going to go ahead and pause that, and we'll jump right in. Okay, well, I'm excited for everyone who's signed up for this. Looks like we've got 17 people on live so far. That just tickles the heck out of me. Thank you so much for coming and welcome. I'm Amy Williams, and you have stepped into this live stream broadcast. And the name of it is Conscious Body, Conscious Weight. Some of you might have stumbled on it on Google Plus. That's kind of one of those funny things about doing these things that use Google Hangout is they're broadcast there at the same time unless you make it private. I can hear a little bumping around upstairs. I have my technical helper checking out the broadcast to make sure that you can all hear me okay. And I'm going to go ahead and pop back over to the chat room and get that going. And if people could just say hey there, that'd be great. If you'll look on the right, you probably can see the chat room. Basically, I just posted a couple of welcome messages to get started. And if you, it's kind of funny, sometimes you have to scroll all the way to the bottom with your scroll bar on the right to get to where you can actually type something in. But this broadcast has, well, let's say this much to do with things that I want to say and things that I want to talk about, and this much to do with what you are here to receive today. And so I'd like to start with that. Conscious body, conscious weight. Kind of a weighted subject, wouldn't you say? It's actually a title that I created about 6 months ago. Oh, hey, we're getting people weighing in. Yay. I'll try to stay with my sentences and then intentionally, very consciously go over to the chat occasionally so that you don't see too much squirrel. So, but the chat is good. It helps me to be with you and your energy. And I tell you what, there's a whole lot of energy that has been building for this event and the ensuing class. So what I started to say is that I created this title about 6 months ago because I'm here in Lincoln, Nebraska, and I have the special and unique opportunity to teach at the continuing education department of Southeast Community College in Lincoln. And so I have to plan things quite a ways out, which can be an interesting journey. You know, sometimes I'll be really into something and then 6 months later, I'm like, wow, what was I thinking about? But this class has been totally different. And it's been different in a way that it has just been moving through me day by day. And some days it's like the class is just talking in my ear all the time. oh, well, we could do this. And some people are going to want this. And you should write this down. And that's part of my process of conscious creation. And so that's the zone that I've been in with this class that's called Conscious Body, Conscious Weight. And I'll tell you all about that later. But today is about today. And today is about what you're here to receive and the energy that is present in you that connected to the energy of what's going to happen today. And so that's what we're going to get into in a minute is talking about consciousness, talking about energy, and talking about our body and conscious embodiment. Okay, so what I'd like to hear from you guys first is, what was it that maybe I said in the class ad or the live stream ad or any of those pieces? What was it that you saw that made you go, oh, I gotta check that out? And what is it that you would love to receive today if you could have something change today? If you could have something be different right now with your relationship with your body, with your life, what would you like to have more ease with? What would you like to have change? So I'm going to give just a minute, and I'm going to look at the things that people have been saying so far, and I'm going to give you a chance, because there's a little bit of a lag, because it's a live stream, but it does take the technology a second to get from here to there and back again. So I'm going to put on my glasses and look at the chat and see what you're saying, and that's going to be part of creating this. So, oh, great. We've got people on from Australia. We've got people on from Canada. Oh, this is fabulous. Okay, and let's see where my scroll bar is to see who else is talking here. Change my relationship with my body, and it would change how I reward myself. I'm going to make notes. Reward myself. That's some juicy languaging. Okay, cool. Keep it coming. Oh, wow, we're up to like 21 people on here live. That is so much fun to see. Yeah, just whatever is there for you. Whatever is there for you. Less judgment of my body. Asking my body what it would like to eat or what kind of movement it would like. Yes, I see who you are, and that's a juicy, juicy thing to play with, Darlene, and that's something we're really going to get into, is talking to our body. Okay. All right. Well, I'll tell you what, some of you are probably thinking about it a little bit, but I really appreciate that that you guys jumped right in and were willing to share with us. And I'll probably talk a little bit, look a little bit, so we can really be in conversation here. So for those of you who have just joined us, we're looking into the chat box, and I'm asking you guys to put in there what you would like to get out of this class today. If you could change something right now, what would it be? And I would love to have you post in there. So what does it mean to be conscious with our bodies? So consciousness, I want to first start by defining consciousness, or sharing with you the working definition that we use for consciousness. So first of all, this is a class about energy, okay? So I might be wise to tell you what you're not going to get from this class. You're not going to get me telling you what to eat. You're not going to get me telling you what not to eat. You're not going to get me telling you how you should move or how often you should move. But what you are going to get is a feeling for a way, for, well, really for many ways to begin to play with energy and to begin to have a conversation with energy in a language that it communicates in, and hopefully that you can understand. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and peek again because a few more people have posted. See some excess fat and fluid change. Yes, I love that, Margie. Okay. How to get into doing more. Wanda, thank you. Doing more rather than just thinking about it. Elizabeth, releasing beliefs that I don't know are active. Okay. All right. So some of you are posting things that are just really delicious and right in the vein of where I'm going with some things. So, okay. So our starting point is everything is energy. And I say that all the time as an energy practitioner. I've been working with energy for between 25 and 30 years. I always forget where I am with the exact number, but working with putting my hands on people for energy work along with massage and separate from massage now for 5 to 10 years. But see, here's the thing. Everything is energy, and energy likes to move. And a lot of times, the energy of our thoughts, feelings, and emotions are the types of energies that are creating our physical reality. So the easiest place to start is to say everything is energy, but the truth is, when you take an electron microscope and in this physical reality, and you look at the particles that are creating the molecules that make up our body, there's vibrating energy, there's a whole lot of space. So what animates what we call matter is actually our consciousness. So really, everything is energy, space, and consciousness. I just got the okay sign from my technical advisor that the monitoring computer is getting the info. So I'm glad to know that the feed is good. So everything is energy, space, and consciousness. So for that, I want to tell you that there's some different ways we're going to look at energy. As I said, looking at the energy that is the physical part, what has the densest form of energy, and then the energy of thoughts, the energy of emotions. And I had mentioned that that I'm going to talk about 3 things that we can start to play with that are really what is keeping us stuck. So next, what I'd like to do is define consciousness. So one of my teachers, Gary Douglas, he's the founder of Access Consciousness, defines consciousness as the ability to be present in every moment without judgment of ourselves or anyone or anything else. Now, the title of this class is Conscious Body, Conscious Weight. Let's see. Anybody out there ever judge themselves and their body or their weight or anybody else in this physical reality? None of us, right? We've never judged what our body looks like. We've never put ourselves next to somebody else or a picture of ourselves from years ago and said, oh, if I could only look like that again, that would be just right for me right now. Well, without judgment of ourselves or anyone else or anything else. So that leads me to really thing number one about the subject of what's keeping us stuck. And one of the main ways that we stop energy from moving in this reality is judgment. Decisions, judgments, conclusions, and fixed points of view. And so when we're talking about our body, sorry, sometimes I'll just catch the energy of something that somebody's feeling or thinking. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and say these words right away because I think they can be really loaded, and I thought this was really funny, and this is what came to me in that moment. So, has anybody looked at yourself and thought, I am fat? And now some people have issues with not being heavy enough. Has anybody ever looked at themselves in the mirror or had somebody say to you, you're too skinny, or don't lose any more weight, you'll get too skinny? I had an interesting, I'm going to say, it is a judgment because it was something someone had decided about me. And somebody called me skinny the other day. Now, this was a person who is physically larger than I am. And I went, what? I don't think I've ever been called that. Now, from her point of view, that would be what she was thinking about my body. But what about what I think about my body or what I feel and what my body feels about my body? Okay. So, because I got to tell you, that's probably a word that has not really popped into my head in relation to my body ever. And maybe thinner, or yes, I've dropped a few or something like that. But it really kind of took me aback. And what I want to say is that I am going to use the word fat, because I think fat is a loaded word. And I want to have the opportunity to not feel like I'm stepping on anybody's toes if I say fat, or if I'm judging anybody if I say fat, because the fact is that a lot of us use the word, or we perceive the word in our universe a lot. Okay. So I'm going to let all of that stuff settle, and then we're going to talk about how aware we are and what that means to perceive that stuff in our universe. And yeah, but I'm going to check the chat first. So okay, yeah, underlying thoughts of how much I eat will result in weight gain. Yes, in the process of losing weight, so accepting how much I am changing during this process, releasing things or people that are holding me back and weighing me down. I love those metaphors. Thanks, Denise. Jolene, changing the thought structure of my belief about food and how my body interprets those beliefs. Oh, there's just so much good stuff here. You guys rock. Okay. Glad you're here, Artisa. I hope I'm saying your name right. Okay, so, all right. So I want to talk about your body. And does anybody have any kinds of unkind thoughts that you project at your body? Like, I wish you would do this. Oh, what's wrong? This is wrong with you. This is wrong with you. Well, let me ask you something else. Who is the one, I'm going to say other being, because if we're talking to it, it's like it's another being. So we, the being, are with a body in this lifetime. Okay? So does anybody have a best friend who has been with you every second other than your body? I mean, some of you might, maybe your mother's your best friend. That would be about the only person who has been with you every second of this lifetime. And I don't know about you, but mothers aren't always the kindest ones when it comes to how our bodies look or what we look like. But that's a whole subject that maybe we'll have to pick up in the class. So our body is really, if we choose to have our relationship with our body this way, our body can be our best friend in this lifetime. And would we ever send talk to, send negative thoughts, project icky, mean, unkind energy at someone that we wanted to be with us for the rest of the time we have here on the planet, and wanted to have with us in a really magical way? I mean, does anybody want to create some magic with your body? Do you believe that your body is capable of things that it's not been showing you? Well, I tell you what, it can be. And I've seen some crazy, interesting things. And so, what if we could actually stop judging the holy living crap out of our bodies? Does that sound good to anybody? Okay, cool. So, being best friends with your bodies is a lovely idea. Yes, isn't it? Isn't it? Yeah, and it's one that I've been playing with a lot. So what we really want to do is begin to not see it as the enemy, begin to see it as our best friend. And I really don't know another pronoun to use other than it. I mean, we could say her. I guess I don't. This happens when I'm talking about this stuff with other people. Then sometimes I recognize things that, oh wow, should I call my body her? So what I've been doing is coming into conversation with my body and coming into conversation with energy. And sometimes those things seem like they're really far apart. But your body is the being who can give you the most information about you and what's going on around you. And sometimes what we're doing is we have a feeling, right? We have a sensation in our body. And we go, oh, there's that pain. That's that problem that I have with that, I'm just going to say foot. And I have a foot problem. And then we look for the things creating the problem. And what is that? That's us functioning from a place of looking for judgment. Okay. So if we want to look for, if we actually see everything as energy and we begin to ask slightly different questions that aren't looking for conclusions, but are looking for an energy, the conversation changes completely. Okay. So I actually had this conversation with my feet the other day, and they are interested in me getting some different shoes, but there was more to it than that. And years ago, I studied my first introduction to the conversation with the word that you see me use a lot, because really I've named my Facebook page, my business talks a lot about it, but it's body, mind, consciousness. So the book, The Body Mind, was my first introduction to this idea that the body and mind really are inextricably tied. And so what that does for us is it, first of all, takes the lid off of the idea that stress creates illness. Because if everything is energy and our point of view creates our reality, and on some level, we as a being have chosen this body and are choosing the things that are creating our reality, then the thing that is creating the things that we don't want that are happening with our bodies is our own unconsciousness. Okay? So the good news and the bad news is the bad news is, oh, holy crap, what am I creating that I don't know that I'm creating? And oh no, is she just going to be another one of those new age mumbo jumbo broads who's going to tell me that I'm to blame for everything? No, that's not it. It's not that you're to blame. It's that if you are choosing it, you get to choose something else. Okay. And so there's a different type of conversation to come into. So I did this the other day. I had this conversation with my feet. And I am stepping into some big change in a class that I'm taking in a couple of weeks. I leave about 2 days after this Conscious Body, Conscious Weight class kicks off for a 3-day class in Seattle. And it's kind of a big deal. And so I said, so, hey, feet, what's this energy? And I got a picture of the class in Seattle. I said, okay. So what's that about? And I got a picture of paying for the class in Seattle. I went, yeah, okay. I'm going to put that on my credit card in a few days. And then I got the same picture again. It's like, okay, thanks, feet. I'll go through my bank statements and check out my finances and do that. Now, is that something that most things in physical reality would tell us? Or even a book on the body mind that pain in the heel has to do with blank? No, it really isn't. I mean, I've studied a lot of that stuff. And a lot of what you find are other people's conclusions based on some of those lovely body-mind metaphors that a lot of times make a lot of sense. You know, stress on our shoulders, carrying the weight of the world on our shoulders, you know, headaches, too much going on in our head. Yeah, those things can be really valid. But this was so far off the charts. And did it shift? Yeah, it shifted. Am I doing some other things in physical reality if I feel something there that might have a physical symptom to go with it? Sure, why not? Have I put a label on it that is going to lock it into place? I have not. Now, I keep asking, okay? I keep asking if I sense something, you know, hey, oh, okay, I'm planning to pay for that class on this date. Is there something else I should do? My feet say to me, oh, if you want to do it sooner, you could, but that's okay. And so the conversation becomes one not of looking for the answer, but looking for an awareness about what the energy is that maybe at this moment doesn't feel good, okay? So one of the things that I said was that, you know, we're going to look at 3 things that are keeping energy stuck. And I said judgments. So had I, and I'm using an example here that totally doesn't have anything to do with weight, but that we can relate to because we've all done this with one thing or another about different things that we feel in our body. And what can happen is, let's say that I decided, oh my gosh, it's the bottom of my feet. I might be getting plantar fasciitis. Oh no, I've got a problem with my foot. What that is a way to lock up energy. What I call a diagnosis of any sort is a big fat freaking judgment that we paid a lot of money to get. And so the trick then, the game, the journey is to begin to unlock the places where we've locked ourselves up. And my friends, those things can go so far back in this lifetime and possibly other lifetimes. So, you know, I don't know if there are people on here who that is not something that is really part of your reality, but I'll tell you how it works for me. For some reason, I've always believed in other lifetimes. Maybe as the Swami Beyondananda says, because I think God's a recycler. But I was in like the 4th or 5th grade and I read Edgar Cayce's On Reincarnation. It made perfect sense to me. I don't know why, just did. But what I find valuable in that idea is that if there's absolutely nothing in this reality that makes it work, and I can use the mind game that maybe it was something from another lifetime, and I can clear it that way, I can change it, I can become conscious to an energy and aware of something moving through me that I can't find any other connection to that helps me understand it or change it, then the idea of past lives works for me. And I'm guessing if you're drawn to my stuff, that's probably not a big jump for you anyway. So, for instance, let's just take this idea, because I think a lot of us would not necessarily have this in this lifetime. Hi guys, I'm seeing people come in and saying they're late. People are posting in the chat the things that they would like to get out of this class, and we're just full on in the middle of it here. So, okay, so one of the things that has come to me about a lot of, one of the things that I see that locks things in place for people is the juxtaposition of conflicting energies. And those energies that I'm talking about, and to get specific about them, are the idea that is impelled upon us in this reality that skinny is good and fat is bad. I mean, how often do you hear the words unhealthy fat? Okay. Or someone is unhealthy if they are carrying extra weight. Or even talking about oils, we will call it unhealthy fat. I just have noticed that. It's like, okay. So how many judgments are there in that? So the idea that is all around us is an energy in the thoughtosphere that skinny is better somehow. Okay. Alongside a long-standing energy going back in history that fat means you're rich, and fat means you can get through the winter, and fat means you got a lot of booty on the backside, so when you're nursing those babies, everything's gonna be okay, because mama, if I didn't shoot something today, you can still nurse the babies and everything's okay because you got a lot of booty for those baggy jeans and everything's good. And you see how I just started talking faster is because almost like coming out of my mouth is an interpretation of the energy that exists in the ethers. And that's something that can be keeping us locked up. So one of the things that we're going to do in this class, and we can even do it right here, even though I'm not going to spend a lot of time explaining it, is we're going to use some tools to unlock that kind of energy. And some of you have worked with me in private sessions. You know what these tools are. Some of you have done other things that are similar and have heard of this weird, crazy magic wand called the clearing statement that clears energy on a subconscious level. So I'm going to do that with both of those things, and I actually didn't know I was going to do this in this way, so this is kind of fun. So a little bit of explanation, and then we'll just do it, okay? So I am guessing that if you are like me and most everybody I know, that if you've got some sort of a problem with your body or with your weight and it's not been changeable for you, that there's a really good chance that you've done everything you could think of and thought of everything you could think of to play with it. And if we could change everything from our conscious thinking mind, the place where we decide and conclude and judge, we would have, right? But sometimes these energies are stuck in places in our bodies and minds that have just been a little tricky and sticky and to unlock. And so this tool is one of the weirdest things I've ever heard. And it can change things in amazing ways, and it'll become real for you when you feel a difference. And I just ask you to just kind of bear with me, and if you're on this live stream, you probably know me or trust somebody who referred you to this. But just give me a minute, okay? So I'm just going to ask you if you would be willing to clear all of the judgments that you have in this or any other lifetime about skinny being good, about fat being good, about skinny being bad, about fat being bad. Would that be okay? Okay, cool. So I'm going to say we're going to dissipate it, we're going to clear it, and essentially we're going to uncreate it. So the words of the clearing statement are uncreate and destroy that times a godzillion. Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Oh, goodness. Yeah. So my body sometimes moves when I do clearings like that. And I have to tell you, the first I started, if you see my body moving, it's because I'm kind of shaking underneath the table here. Since I started doing energy work, I sometimes would put my hands on people to move energy in acupressure in a meridian or maybe in a chakra, and I would feel energy pulsing through my body, and it would kind of wave. And I could tell that that was just the energy waving through me. And my teachers all said, just let it. It's probably best that way. And when I started using these tools, it started moving really quickly because it's a slightly different vibration than I was working in before. And I actually scoffed. I will admit to scoffing. I did. You know, sometimes you just think it's something so weird that it's like, okay, what could that possibly do? I didn't actually scoff at the clearing statement, but when I saw people do the clearing statement and start shaking their hands, and then I saw somebody who studied with those people using the clearing statement and shaking their hands, I thought, oh, so they just copied the other people and do what they do. And then when I started using the clearing statement and my whole body started to ripple when I would use it for myself and for other people, I went, what is this? And then I started to feel things change. So I've kind of been yapping a little bit. If you're curious what that is, you can go look it up at theclearingstatement.com. That's www.theclearingstatement.com. And it tells all about what it is. So I'm not going to go over that right now, but the gist of it is that we're clearing our conclusions and unlocking stuck energy from the place of our insane mind, the mind that is sticking us with those energies. Because if we were conscious and aware, we wouldn't do it, right? If we were aware that, let's say, calling a heel pain plantar fasciitis and deciding this is what it is, and then buying into sticking ourselves with it as a problem, and buying into all the things that this reality thinks about that, we would never say any diagnosis related to our body, right? I called somebody and said, hey, I kind of want to get my feet worked on. I'm just having some symptoms around my heels. And he was so funny when he called me back. He goes, obviously, we're not saying the words plantar fasciitis. And I went, that's true. You're right. I didn't say that. And I'm still going to just uncreate and destroy everything that my body might think or know about that it might be creating discomfort in my feet that doesn't have anything to do with that. Times a godzillion. Good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So that's what you'll hear me do when something comes up that somebody wants to clear, or that I perceive as an energy that we might like to clear. And so right there, that will work with, I said you're going to hear 3 different things that are creating the things that are keeping us stuck. And so that's energy that's locked up. And that's going to be a tool that's going to start to unlock the places that we haven't been able to change. And yes, I do know it's really crazy, but it works. Okay. And then it's going to also clear the judgments, conclusions, and decisions that we've made. So I don't know about you, but decisions about what our body should look like, what we want our body to be able to do, what's going on if we can't do that anymore. Like, does anybody have decisions about your body and age? Okay, could we clear that? Would you be willing to clear everything you've bought that what's happening with your body has to do with your age? That's starting to move already. And everything that is times a godzillion. And I'm going to just say the clearing statement a little slower so you get a few things of what it's clearing. Everything that's good about that, everything that's bad about it, everything that's right and good and perfect about judging it and deciding that that's it, and everything that's bad, mean, terrible, and awful about it, which is everything that sticks you with it. Sorry, good and bad, right and wrong. Pod and POC is from its point of creation, POC, to its point of destruction, the point at which it started destroying you and limiting your possibilities. So good and bad, right and wrong, POD and POC, all 9 layers, shorts, boys, and beyonds. You can go read that. Whew, yeah, none of us have any points of view about age and our body and our weight. Oh, no, we don't. I'm going to take a look at the chat here. You guys are awesome. I see lots of things coming in. Yes, I dread every winter that I'll need larger snow pants again. How fun. Body and age is a big one for you. Yeah, I understand. It's a big one for a lot of people. And so, okay, let me just check in on our time, see what we're doing and what we have left. So that's 2 of our points of what can keep us stuck. So we'll get into the 3rd one in a little bit, but I'd like to take just a minute to talk about this class because you know, one of the reasons that I jumped on the live stream to get connected to you guys. Oh, I see a hand up. That's a new one for me. I'll have to see what that is. It's just to get connected with you, give you some ideas about what we're going to do, and just let people know that it was happening, because sometimes I let Southeast Community College post it in their book, and I may send out one email, and I don't know about you, but I don't get every email read. So I really wanted to get on here and let you know that this was happening and start to give you some ideas, and really, hopefully, you're feeling some energy from the broadcast, from all the people, because there's lots of people who know these tools that are on here, and I'm really excited that you jumped in, because all of you are a huge contribution to the energy of this class. So I wanted to let you know a little more about it, and a couple of fun things that I'm doing, basically to, I don't know, just kind of sweeten the pot a little bit. It's really a pretty sweet deal anyway, but I'm going to tell you what some of the topics are, and I'm going to tell you how you can register if you would like to. It's a cool thing. It's happening in Lincoln, Nebraska, starting on January 13th, and it's going for 6 weeks on Wednesday nights, but it's also happening all over the world. So I said in the Facebook group that this wasn't just a class about weight, and as you can see, anytime we start talking about consciousness, anytime we start talking about how our point of view creates our reality, there's just so many directions that the conversation can go, and so many ways that it can change and unlock things that can contribute to your life that is so far beyond a number on the scale. And yes, I kind of jumped on the bandwagon of, you know, New Year's resolutions and things that people were thinking about. And yes, Darlene, I get it. You know, my body has been feeling a little fluffier lately, with you know, moving into some of its sizes. And the fun thing is that I don't have much of a point of view about it this year. And I have to say that I haven't always been that way. So let's just look at what it would take to change those points of view and what kinds of things we're going to get into over the 6 weeks of that class, because that class is online and in person in Lincoln, Nebraska. So we're going to use Zoom technology, which is a little different than Webinar Jam. People who don't have a good working camera and mic that would show them, Zoom shows like little pictures at the top of the screen. Oh, here, like there. Like you guys would be in the room with those of us who are at Southeast Community College. So you'll be able to see me and they'll be able to see you. And maybe I'll have them just walk by and say hi because the camera will be mostly trained on me. But you'll be able to hear people's questions, and then we'll all, so when one of us clears a point of view about, say, what we just did about age or about size or about something that, maybe you were told that if you ever eat that, that's going to be a problem for you, or never eat this, or you always have to work out this much, or whatever. When one person clears the point of view, and one person is brave enough to come up and say, I've got this going on, chances are that there are a lot more people who have it. Everybody is going to clear it. So it's going to be rich, it's going to be juicy, and we've got a lot of topics. So where are they? So we're going to look at, I've got these in so many places. So we're going to start getting into the conversation with our body about what our body would like to wear, what our body would like to eat, how our body would like to move. So our first week really is going to be talking more about getting conscious with our body, and how we begin to get into hearing our body's voice. My body has a really light voice. I'll say, hey body, what do you want to eat today? Or hey body, would you like this broccoli? Yeah, that sounds good. Hey body, would you like coffee? I don't know. And I'll even say, hey body, can I have this coffee? And it'll go, okay. So there's a lot of ways to have that conversation. So we're going to look at moving energy with some techniques. Some of you have heard me talk about the daily energy routine. I'm going to refer you to, we're not going to learn it in class, but I'm going to refer you to an 18-minute video that's on my blog. Or actually it's on my page under Energy Detective number 4, if you want to get a jump on that. Because somebody was saying something about, really needing to get energy moving. And that's a great way to get energy moving so that things can start flowing better. So we're going to do that. We're going to look at the energy of addictions and a certain type of energy that is, addictions have their own type of energy. Sometimes they have to do with something that we call distractor implants, and distractor implants are something it's the same category as like fear and anger and doubt. But those are all energies that we spin on that keep us basically distracted from creating the life that we want to be living. So we're going to get into the energy of addictions. I'll give you some really specific tools for those. And sometimes addictions have to do with chemical imprinting. Sometimes they have to do with electromagnetic imprinting. So there are foods that, people talk about trigger foods. This is a little bit different point of view on what might be called a trigger food. And it has to do with how I want to use a word other than trigger. What's the word? I'm going to say kicks off. It's like it can open a door to a whole lot of unconsciousness that we feel powerless to choose something different. And we're going to look, another topic is really being at choice with everything. So I swear I had my list here of of the topics of every week, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. I can post it in the group if people want to see. Where is it? I had so many pages, they ended up in different places, and I was looking at some things right. Let me just look for 1 second. Well, that was almost 6. That was almost 6. So we're going to start moving. Oh, I know another big one that a lot of you know something about, or have heard of, is the stress response, and how the stress response basically is really has a whole lot to do with keeping us stuck and having energies that are really challenging to change. And the reason for that is because the same energy pattern in the body that governs the stress response also governs addiction and governs change and governs metabolism, therefore also governs weight. So sometimes if the stress response is really high, it just keeps us stuck. Okay, so all right, I'm going to take a quick look here, and oh, I love it, Wanda. I will have all the things that will energize my body and create its happiness. Yes. Changing things that is making your body unhappy, that don't, yes. Yes, and that's another one that we're going to get into talking about, is how so much about turning your body on is turning your body on. I have to tell you, I was having this conversation in another class, and somebody said the funniest thing, that one of her participants had said that her body gets really turned on by going into a yarn store. I thought that was so funny. And the reason was because of all the colors and all the possibilities of what could be made. I had a really fun moment of that yesterday. I wanted slippers, and my feet have been wanting something different, and I found these really soft slippers that I just fell in love with them. I wore them while I was at a movie. They were really turning my body on, that's for sure. I even wore them out into the hallway and and back. But what is it that turns your body on? And that could be frequently for me, it's really bright, colorful socks. You know, really, I should go out and buy more colorful socks all the time because my body gets such a kick out of it. So we're gonna have conversations about that, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. So with the Zoom technology, I'll be able to see you and you'll be able to see me, and we'll be able to hear each other. And so we'll really be able to have conversations. And so I'm going to go ahead and screen share. Oops, that's the wrong thing. There we go. So I'm going to screen share and show you a couple of things before we jump off. And just got a couple things on PowerPoint here. La, 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 la. Okay, so if you want to get a hold of me, here's the info. In Nebraska, 402-432-0223. I'm going to go ahead and say these out loud because there are people who will see this on YouTube later, and they can't see the slides, I believe. And hopefully you guys can. amywilliams.us2@gmail. So that is the way to get a hold of me. And www.amywilliams.us. If you want to register for the class, there's a page there that has it on. Just go to the classes tab, and you'll be able to find it. And it will give you the information for Southeast Community College, because you do need to call them to register. You can't sign up online. It all goes through them. So I'm going to go to the next slide. And I just wanted to let you know, at the beginning I was playing the music from my new CD. If you are not on my email list, because I did not actually capture your email addresses when you registered today, that just went to Webinar Jam, and they sent you the links. I didn't put you on a list. So you can go to amywilliams.us, and you'll get a download of the first track of the CD. You'll get a little coupon code, and the first track is called Healing, Clearing, and Flow. And for those of you who are looking for something to get the energies moving in your body, this will do it. I'm seeing fun and interesting things with people who are using this for meditation and for healing. So that's available to you. So I also want to give you guys something today for being here. Hopefully you're seeing the slides and everything's working properly. This is a telecall that I did a while back, and I want to give you a gift just for being here, because you're really part of creating the energy of this class just by being on the live stream. And that means a whole lot to me. And so if what I'm saying interests you and you want to hear more, there's a free call. If you go to my blog page at amywilliams.us, click blog, and then scroll down, you're going to find the Conscious Energies of Life. The first telecall, call number 1, Bringing Back the Magic, on that call series is just, it's really rich. It's really fun. We've got some live callers on there that did some, we got into some interesting things during the call, but the first 20 to 30 minutes of it it moves so much energy that some energies will start to shift for you, and begin to enliven yourselves and unlock some things just by being in the space of possibility and the idea that you and your body can create some magic. And in a little bit, I'm going to tell you some stuff about some magic that happened for me the other day. Okay, and here we go. So I also wanted to give you a special bonus if you decide to sign up for the class. If you could do it by January 5th, which is this Tuesday, I'm going to give you the second call on that Conscious Energies of Life telecall, Eliminating the Lies of Judgment. And you're going to learn more about the clearing statement and how to use it and what that's about. And that's if you register by Tuesday, January 5th. And I'll tell you why. Because you would be doing me an absolutely huge favor by registering early, because I'm not the only one involved in creating this class. And because of the technology involved in the class, I need to have about a minimum of 6 more people who sign up soon. And I've got signups already. We're going to have a delicious class. But to be sure that they're not going to be saying, Amy, that we need to have the right number, and that she's not going to be just saying, nope, we're not going to be able to cancel. You really can't wait until the last minute because of the technology and what they have to do to have all of that going. They need to know. So I would love it if you would sign up early, and that way it's just gravy, and I'm going to give you something special for jumping in. So here's the rest of the info on the class. It's only $89, and I'm basically giving you this and $50 worth of bonuses if you sign up early. So really, because those calls were a $75 3-part tall call. So anyway, the phone number for Southeast Community College is, actually, I might have made a typo there, 436. If it's not 436, it's 437. It's on my website. Yeah, I have so many numbers in my world. Just look on the website, amywilliams.us, under classes, and you'll find the class. So let's see. Okay. All righty. Oops, present to everyone. Did you guys miss that? I'm going to click present to everyone, and I'm going to do it one more time and just whip through them, because you already heard me talking about them, right? Okay, so in case you didn't see it, here's what I was doing. Sorry about that. From current slide, there's the contact info. You can always stop and rewind in the replay. There's the info on the new CD, Conscious Embodiment, 3 tracks, 3 guided meditations with amazing music. I had great musicians, and you can get the first track free. And on the blog, the Conscious Energies of Life 3-part telecall, this is the graphic from that. And the first one, it does say, listen to the replay here. So you can get that right now, that telecall. And then register by Tuesday the 5th and receive the second call. So, all righty, there we go. Sorry if that wasn't sharing before. Sometimes I don't see all of my buttons. Okay. All right, guys. I am just tickled that you could all be here. I like to keep these to under or just around an hour. I'm going to go back and see if I can find the rest of the chat. When I accidentally clicked the wrong button a minute ago, it got rid of my chat. I might be able to reload it. Let's see if I can. But I just really want to thank y'all for being here. It was just a delight for me. I'm very passionate about the consciousness work that I do, and I love it so much. I can't wait to share it with more people. Oh, yay, I got my chat back. I'm going to go through and look. So if you want to stay around and have questions or certain things that you would like to clear, oh my goodness, I have to tell you the last thing that keeps you stuck. That's it. That's how we have to wrap up. And then I'm going to look at these questions because I think somebody's asking about the recording. And yes, I will post the recording in the Facebook group. I will probably email it out. And if you are not on my email address or email list, do go to the bottom of the page, amywilliams.us, and put in your email address. And you can get on my list there. And there's some things that I email out periodically. So the last thing that keeps us stuck is hoarding energy. It's a big subject. It's a big subject. And sometimes it's energies that aren't even ours. Sometimes it's energies that if we would just ask it to be gifted to the earth, we could. And we could just let it go into the master recycler. And I'm going to talk a lot more about that because the subject of energies that aren't even ours and how we take them on into our body is such a big one. It's hard to even get into on this call. I think that's not on the that's not the telecall you're getting. It is the third telecall on that series. So I can possibly hook you up with that too for $25. But anyway, I don't want to talk about that right now. Just let me know if you need that but can't take the class. So it won't be available in February. Well, the class is going to be six weeks. I don't have a plan to offer it again. And right now, they're not saying that we can tape them at the community college, even though I know the Zoom technology does allow that. I don't know if they just didn't want to do it or what. But yes, so okay, so you're asking about, about Wednesday evenings. Wanda, here's the other thing that I was wanting to do, and I don't think that I can record them through the community college unless I just record an audio. So that's a possibility, but with dealing with the technology and people's questions and perceiving and working with the energy in the room, I don't want to promise that. So let's talk. Hit me up so I can know that you're interested, and who knows, this could be a class that goes more than once. I don't know. I often don't know what's happening exactly next. I make plans and then I follow the energy, kind of like with an energy session. I have ideas and then I follow the energies. So okay. We clear all the judgments of how we perceive other people receiving us with weight, age, and whatever we show up. Yes, thank you, Janet, for asking. Let's do that. So everywhere you're perceiving other people's energy and the projections, okay, that's what we want to do. So all of the projections of other people's judgments and everywhere you have ever felt those impelled upon you and your body, would you like to destroy and uncreate those? Everything that is, destroy and uncreate it, good and bad, right and wrong, pot and pot, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Oh, yes, very good. Oh, thank you for asking that. Um, let me just look. My life is making stuff in my life. Yeah. So we're going to clear, the kinds of stuff that is not working in your life. What we're going to look at is unlocking the places that are not allowing us to choose something different than the things that are creating the things in our body that we don't want. Okay. So that's how this class gets really juicy and not just about the weight. So I promised that I would tell you about a magical thing that happened. When I first started reading the Access material around bodies and weight, it showed a remarkable before-after picture of the woman who heads up the Access Consciousness Body Process Facilitator side, which is one of my certifications, if you will. I'm a body process facilitator in Access and a bars facilitator. And anyway, she had lost a bunch of weight after she had started using these tools, gone to some classes, bars and foundation and level 1, and started asking lots and lots of questions. And we're really going to get into the power of the questions. And that's what we're going to close with is some questions that will create more for you, for all of us. And she started talking about how she lost this weight eating Doritos and M&Ms and blah, blah, blah. And, we're pretty conditioned to think that we have to go on a diet or we have to seriously limit our intake in order to make changes in our body. And I've heard other Access facilitators say, I lost a lot of weight eating ice cream every day. And so I started really using the tools a while back and asking my body questions about everything. Hey, body, what would you like to drink right now? Hey, body, I can tell that you're thirsty. I feel it in my mouth. Would you like something to drink? Hey, body, what would you like to eat? How much of that would you like to eat? And there were days when I was eating a fair amount of sugar, and I was eating carbs, and I was eating foods that people would call high fat. And in a period of a couple of days, I had one of those magical moments where my body lost 5 pounds. And then there are other days when it will suddenly gain 5 pounds. And maybe not that much changed. And during that time when it lost, I know I was not eating a lot less. And so I was able to have one of the things that, because we all like to set up, well, this, and this must have happened, right? And that's what I had always wondered when people were saying that, because I had not seen it yet. But I had also not been playing with the tools in the same way. So I'm going to give you these tools. I'm going to teach you these tools, and we're going to play. And what I'd really also like to do is create a Facebook group so we can communicate in the in-between weeks. So if you're really interested in this class and you can't take it this time around, let me know. That always informs my choices, and maybe I'll be having other people ask. But for now, I'd like to just wrap it up and say thank you, thank you, thank you oh so much. And hopefully you receive something today. Hopefully you receive what you are asking for in the upcoming weeks, whether you can take the class or not, but I hope to see you there. So have a super day, and I look forward to connecting again. Bye-bye.